Wow, what did I witness today, guys? Unbelievable performance today from TEMBA BAVUMA. I mean, what a performance. I mean, I watched it live, of course. I was at the Wanderers today and got to share that special moment with the crowd and with the fans today. It was phenomenal. I mean, I'm actually quite speechless sitting here thinking about it. Was emotional in the crowd too, seeing what had transpired, particularly after the collapse that happened before that. I mean, this is the review show, guys. We're going to be talking about this particular game, what transpired today, what happened out there in the field. I'll be giving you guys my summary of what took place at the ground throughout this game, and let's celebrate this performance from our skipper Temba Bavuma. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I please want you guys to do. First and foremost, if that the button's red, please click it, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell for all future videos. There's about 40% of you guys that are not subscribed and still watching our videos. So if you have been watching it, please subscribe to the channel. It's very important that you do so. It really helps me, it really helps the channel, and it really helps the content here too. Another thing that I'd like you guys to please do is download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also help us grow and promote South African cricket by becoming a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Smash the like button, comment, and share. And don't forget to go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. We have the full report on the site as well as a review by Naima, like a reaction piece based on Temba's comments after the game. So please go ahead and support that and check that out as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. But of course, we talk about day 3 of the second test between South Africa and the West Indies. Wow, what a day of cricket. I am exhausted by the emotion. I'm exhausted by walking up and down and being around and trying to get the fans' reaction, obviously, to this particular knock. But what transpired on day 3? Let's talk about it. It was a difficult start for the Proteas in their second innings, despite surviving 3 overs at the end of day 2. The top order capitulated in the first session of day 3, which was sad to watch, obviously seeing that happen. Dean Elgar went out for 5 and was the first to go. He guided the ball to Rushton Chase at Kali, which saw SA down for 6 runs. Down 1 for 6 runs, of course. Carl May is picking up that wicket as well. The next was Tony de Zorzi for 1. He found himself like caught in 2 minds, basically, and chopped the ball onto his stumps. May is picking up his second wicket. And then came the big wicket of the inform Aiden Markram for 18. It was a beautiful delivery by Kimo Roach. He forced Aiden into a shot, and it was a perfect length delivery, and he edged it to Joshua De Silva. Like, I wouldn't say completely edged it, but he did edge it. It nicked the edge and went straight to the keeper. Then there was a big task on hand for the captain, Temba Bavuma, who looked calm and collected at the crease. The key was for him to find partners that could stick around with him, of course, to build a partnership. But unfortunately, Ryan Rickleton was not that man. He came out of the crease and he lost his wicket on the stroke of lunch. And Raymond Reifer's patience was key to enforcing the wicket. I was quite shocked by this wicket because it was the consistency of Reifer's that really got Ryan. He got the ball to move away slightly off the pitch and drew Rickleton into the drive. But it was that slow-paced deliveries of 120 kilometers per hour, those type of 118 kilometers per hour that actually forced or enticed Rickleton to actually play the shot, and then he edged it behind for 10. South Africa was 69 for 4 at lunch, guys, leading by 138 runs with BAVUMA not out on 35. And then the nerves started. I think everybody felt it. Everybody thought that the major collapse was going to happen. But the captain took 107 balls to reach his 21st half century with 6 fours to his name, stepping up when it was most needed actually for the team. Under pressure, 4 down, he went on to score a half century first. And then Klaasen's time at the crease was also cut short. Alzari Joseph again banged in a short delivery outside of off, and Klaasen went for the pull shot. He top edged it, and Joshua De Silva ran to his left and got under the catch. It was a crucial catch at the time of the match, and South Africa were reduced to 103 for 5. And then Vian Mulder and Bavuma started to build a much needed partnership that tee. The pair were on 41 not out by tee, and then ended a second session on 144 for 5 with a lead of 213. That was a pivotal partnership, and I was very impressed with the way Vian Mulder performed in this match. He held his end well. He rotated the strike well. He punished the balls when bad balls when he needed to. Some good balls as well, straight down the ground. He had a couple of good straight drives down the ground for 4. It was a magnificent partnership, and we were waiting for Vian to put on a performance like this. I'm actually quite sad that he didn't actually get an opportunity to actually reach a half century. But history was made of the tee. The moments that African fans have been waiting for 2,619 days, guys. A second test century for the captain. The 2nd of January 2016 was when Bavuma scored his first ever century at the picturesque Newlands against England. Now, on the 8th of March 2023, 7 years later, he scored his second at his home ground to a roar in the crowd at the Bullring. This was actually his first ever ton at the Wanderers. So he was elated about that too. He spoke about it in his post-match press conference. He reached his 100 and 192 balls with 12 fours in style, cutting a wide delivery over cover in the 67th over. I saw it right in front of me because I was waiting for him to raise that bat. He finished the over with a pull shot for 4, taking his team to 191 for 5 and a lead of 260. And then the unfortunate thing happened. I wanted to see Mulder also get a reward for his patience and for his bravery and for his performance today by staying around with Bavuma until he got that 100. Because we've seen on so many occasions that players have lost their wickets just before Bavuma could get that century. But not Mulder. He stuck around and he put in a magnificent performance, I have to say. He must get praise for the way he supported his captain in a 103-run stand. He lost his wicket, unfortunately, 8 runs short of what would have been a deserved half century. He went out for 42 of 71 balls, which include 8 fours. And South Africa were now reduced to 206 for 5 after the fall of Mulder's wicket. But Bavuma continued to contribute beautifully to lead the lead with the help of Simon Harmer. They brought up their 50-run partnership in 99 balls, and then Bavuma reached another milestone, guys, 150 in 254 balls, having spent 333 minutes at the crease. In total, he was at the crease for over 6 hours today, guys. Fantastic mental strength and conditioning from him. The Proteas got themselves to a lead of 346 when Harmer lost his wicket, LBW to Jason Holder. But then Bavuma finished the day on 171 not out of 275 balls that included 24s. South Africa finished on 287 for 7 in 93 overs with a lead of 356. A fantastic performance from the skipper, and we have to give him credit where it's due. Now, let's get into the live chat. Let's get into the comment section and see what you guys have had to say. Gerard van Ton, the 2 words, nothing else. TEMBA, BAVUMA. Priyanshu saying, are you happy? I'm elated. I will eat my word. TEMBA BAVUMA was world-class today, says Neil Govender. Donovan Williams says, I was so scared for most of the day to congratulate TEMBA because I didn't want to jinx him. He carried his batting lineup today. Absolutely carried it. Fantastic performance. Our batting lineup is so hit and miss. Finally made a live show on time. Yeah, it has been quite difficult, guys, to get on time and make it on the time because of the press conferences. We don't have control over when the press conference is going to finish. Generally speaking, though, I'm on time every single time. So, yeah. But recently, now that I'm traveling, obviously, here to watch the games, the press conferences finish when they finish. I can't control when they're going to finish, and then it's traffic home, and then I can only get to the live show. I try to get it to you guys as early as possible. The top order collapse is worrying. TEMBA saved us, otherwise we would have lost. Alga has been playing like he doesn't care ever since he has lost the captaincy. I don't know about that. I feel that he's trying to play a little bit more patiently. I think he's trying, not patiently, sorry, he's trying to play a little bit more explosive. Um, he's now changed his words actually, and he said that he wants to be considered world class again. He wants to be considered a more attacking batter. So he's added to his game a lot more and trying to play a little bit more of an expansive brand. Khalid dressed for the TEMBA occasion. I see, laugh out loud. Very good knock from the skipper. Looks like he'll score two hundreds in this two 100s in one innings. I hope so, guys. I hope he'll get to the 200 mark. And I'm dressed up because it's actually our friend on the channel as well, Zaire. It's his birthday, so we'll be going out for supper tonight after the show. So that's why I've been dressed up, of course, as well. But yeah, uh, it's good that I dressed up at least for Timba's 100 as well. 171 not out. Neil Gavender, thank you for the super chat, my brother. Once again, coming in with a gold. Wow, what an innings from Timba. I'm one of his worst critics, but he made me eat my words. Congratulations, bro. Hardy, please watch the analysis by Sean Pollock and Ashwell Prince. They basically point out a technical deficiency in Markram's batting technique. I know there is a slight technical deficiency in his game, but I think he's also worked on his straight drives and his cover drives in Test cricket. He looks a lot better than he used to, and he's working on it. And I'm sure he will constantly improve. But I will watch it as well and see what they had to say because we don't get to listen to the commentary while we're in the press box. Really frustrating to see Klaassen get out in a similar way again. Why doesn't he understand? Can't get aggressive every time. He tries to take on short balls and bounces. Why doesn't he duck? Drop him. Yeah, so quickly to drop people. Most of the players have technical difficulty, as said by commentators. Klaassen and Rickelton need extended runs, in my opinion. Can't drop them now. Just don't make logical sense. It doesn't to me either. I don't think we can talk about players before they get selected and we can criticize the fact that they are being thought of being selected. Or we can criticize that they have been selected. But once they've been selected, we need to support them and give them an extended run. It's very unfair to just give players 4 innings or something and then want to drop them after they don't perform. So I do think that they have to go and I do think that they have to go and give them a proper run. Ryan was playing really poor, struggling against the balls to wide, trying to chase similar to Klaassen. I know it's early, but that's worrying. That's why I've said, guys, on many occasions, we need to be more patient with our younger players, even the informed guys, because domestic cricket there's a big step up to them from domestic cricket to Test cricket. There's a massive gap between the two. So we need to actually see what we can do with regards to that, how we can actually go ahead and perform at a better level and get that step up a lot easier and try to close the gap that is so wide between the two. No matter how informed a player is and how well he does domestically, there's always going to be a chance that they're going to struggle at Test cricket. So we need to be patient with the guys that are being given opportunities. That's why I don't like to chop and change with guys every single time. Every second minute we want to drop in once a player fails. And I don't think that's fair, especially in Test cricket. Isn't it some technically sound batters? But these players, it's very difficult to find technically sound batters because they look technically sound when they're playing domestic cricket. But for example, with Ryan, he faced something that he doesn't face in domestic cricket. A guy putting at the ball on the spot and letting the pitch do its talking consistently and then setting you up. You don't get that consistency in domestic cricket. You are going to find a wayward ball every second or every third ball or whatever the case may be. No matter how many good balls are put in there, there's going to be a time when there's going to be a ball that's going to not hit its mark and you can punish it to the boundary. And that's something in Test cricket that you see far less of because of the quality of bowling at the top level. And West Indies bowling attack is not bad at all, I think. I mean, they do lack a little bit of pace besides Alzari Joseph, but other than that, they've got a decent bowling attack that keep good consistency. I mean, we asked or someone asked Craig Brathwaite in the press conference about whether it was Bavuma's knock that was just magnificent towards the bowlers. He says he doesn't fault his bowlers too much because Bavuma was even hitting the good balls to the boundary. He batted exquisitely today, I must say. This is the best replay to the TEMBA critics in the format. Fantastic innings. The way Mulder celebrated when Temba scored essentially just shows how much Temba is respected in the dressing room. And that's what I've always been speaking about on this channel for a very long time. I've always mentioned that the fact that BAVUMA is very well respected amongst his peers. And that's the reason why a lot of them are happy with him being the captain, because they respect him a hell of a lot. They expect his mentality, the way he thinks about the game. I mean, Temba is a fantastic person as well. He's well liked amongst a lot of people. How long will Nokia be out? What's your overall thoughts on the bowling and our bowling depth? Um, I, I think Nokia will be out. I think it was more precautionary than him being ruled out for a long time. He felt a little bit of tightness. Rabada too felt a little bit of tightness, but he should be okay for the rest of this test. But I think they're holding on to Nokia obviously for maybe the ODIs against the Netherlands as well. I think that is the mindset because they're going to need him, of course, in the ODI arena. So giving him that rest, I think, was okay. It's actually working in our favor right now because, I mean, Gerald could see her bowled well. Kagiso Rabada has been bowling well, and the two spinners were fantastic as well. And it just shows how Shukri has analyzed this particular game. We've spoken many occasions on the fact that I think he should be get a little bit more credit for BAVUMA's performance as well, because I think that he must have had some sort of conversation with BAVUMA before this series, before he was made captain, to try and see where his head is at and try to motivate him, because I know that Shukri in the past has done things, has motivated players in a way and got them to play out of their skins. And I think that has been done here to an extent because, I mean, we've waited so long for a century to be scored. And now look where Bavuma's sitting on 171 not out. I think Mulder improved his game, both batting and bowling. In England last year, he was the MVP in the One Day Cup. He's definitely improved his batting game. He's also been batting higher up the order for the Lions. So there has been the positive intent from him with the bat, and there's been a positive intent from South African cricket to try and push his batting. When I saw Vian Mulder for the first time at Kamajola week, he was a top order number 3 batter and then bowled as well. He was a batter first, in my opinion, and I always thought that was where the direction he was going to go. But when Otis Gibson came in, he liked his bowling action and liked his bowling, and then pushed that over his batting. And I think his batting suffered as a result. So recently, he's been improving his batting. He's been talking to P Dog as well in at the Lions, who is the analyst. And whenever he's gone out, he has conversations with him to try and figure out where he's gone wrong. So he's been putting a hell of a lot of effort to try and get better when it comes to his batting, and you can see the improvement. Recently, Aga is trying to be aggressive, getting out in weird ways. He is trying to get aggressive. It's clear to see. Many criticize about Temba a lot, even in this format, that Temba only having 1 century before this innings. But I have to say, his most 70 or 80 or more than 100 because of all in the tough situations. That is true. And I've said this many occasions on this channel. Temba might be getting 70, 80s, not hundreds, but he's helped the team get out of trouble on so many occasions. It's always been under pressure when he scored his runs. And today, more than ever, it was under pressure. Having to talk to Vian and get Vian motivated. He spoke about that today. I asked him the question in the press conference as well, and he mentioned it today as well in the presser. So that's also pretty awesome from that perspective. That he has said the things that he said about Vian Mulder. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do that right now. Rickerton could play with lower order, just like Quinton de Kock attacking approach, and help. Opposition always tries to get lower order into the strike, and Quinton de Kock used to take benefits of the same game. Yeah, I think that Rickerton can fall into that regard, into that category, but he's going to need some time. I think we need to be patient with him. I know he's had a couple of innings and he hasn't necessarily come to the party, but I think we need to be a little bit patient with him. Carlson has to big in the next match because Kyle has been on the bench even after performing. You see, we have criticized the selection. We've spoken about Kyle Verreynne being there, but at the moment, Kyle isn't there. So it's not fair just because we dropped Kyle to do the same to expect the same from Shukri to do the same to Heinrich Klaassen. I think it's a reset now. We need to do things the right way going forward. So we need to give Klassen an extended run now that they've backed him and selected him. I at least think, in my opinion. Something no one mentioned is this is a good West Indian attack, not 1980s West Indies, but not bad. It's not a bad West Indian attack, and I did mention it a little bit earlier on the show. Temba's criticism has to stop permanently now after today's knock. Temba's criticism should have stopped already a long time ago. I feel. I think he's been getting a lot of unnecessary criticism, and people have been mixing their formats when they criticize him. In T20 cricket, he wasn't good enough, and I've said it many times on this channel. But to treat him the way that he's been treated on social media has been very poor. It's been very poor from us as a fan base. We need to improve on that. I mean, criticize players for their technique, criticize players from a cricketing perspective, but to go after the human being and after the person for things that he can't control is, I think, a little bit sad, and it is a little bit disgusting, in my opinion. But in this format and in the ODI format, I think that the criticism was a bit harsh, and I think people were carrying over their hatred for him in the T20 format into this. Mulder, for me, was always a batting all-rounder. Otis Gibson messed him up big time. Yes, I agree. Another guy on the domestic scene that's impressing me is the very talented Jason Smith. The guy still has a future, and I agree with you on that one. I've always thought that Jason Smith was extremely talented and underrated. He just needed the right environment. He needed the right arms around him, etc., to be able to perform the way he is performing now. And I think Imran Khan is doing a brilliant job with him. I think he's been doing a great work with him and helping him obviously get the best out of him. And I think that is the key thing over here for me personally. If Mulder shows consistency with the bat, then we should play Mulder, Janssen both in the team. Criticism is necessary if players are not performing, and I agree with you. Criticism is, but you have to admit that the criticism BAVUMA gets and the criticism other players get, it's not the same. It's not at all equal. And I think unwarranted criticism is what BAVUMA gets a lot when it comes to ODI and test format. Before this 100, people were going after BAVUMA every day, talking about how he's not good at this format and he must score hundreds for him to be taken seriously. I hope he shut up a lot of people. I hope that he shut up a hell of a lot of people. I saw people delete their comments off our videos on YouTube after being racist and being demeaning to him on his press conference videos from the Centurion. They've deleted all their comments now, gone back and deleted it. I've seen it. So it's crazy. Mulder performs well today, class. And Simon Harmer also needs to get some respect as well today for the bat, the way he hung in there with BAVUMA as well. I think he deserves some credit for that partnership too. I mean, BAVUMA highlighted that in the press conference as well. This looks promising. Sad that we won't be getting test matches for a very long time. Great knock by the captain. Yeah, it's very sad. It's very, very sad. But Khalid criticism was justified as he wasn't able to convert into big scores being a senior. But you also need to look at it situational wise. You also need to look at the situation and see how important those knocks are. And yes, go ahead, criticize him. I've always said criticize the player, criticize the cricketing reasons. But the racism and stuff is just not on. And the going at his height and going at his, sometimes it's funny, but in other times it's not. It's distasteful. I mean, I saw someone call him a quoted dwarf. I mean, that's just taking it too far. I quote a midget, actually. That was the actual words that were used, which is completely it's, I don't even have words for that. It's just total bullshit, actually. That's all I want to say. One of the best century under the pressure. Good job, Temba. Hope to see a double ton tomorrow. Any chance we can get more tests before the next series? Maybe practice matches. I'm hoping that. That's something that's a good point there, Gaurav, because I think that's a good call. I think that we should start looking at maybe other associate nations that maybe don't get to also play a lot of tests. Maybe we can get some unofficial tests going to get these players going. Or maybe we can get some tests that do count, but not for the World Test Championship because we're out of that, of course, but some good tests, competitive tests going so that we can get our batters to play more games and allow Shukri to work with these players a lot more. I know he said in a press conference that he wants to be more involved with the SAA and the emerging sides, etc. But then I hope that the players like Tony and all of them will be part of that SAA team to get some runs under their belt and to get some more work with Shukri under their belt. Call it what it is. The quota word is always brought up when a player of color doesn't perform, and it's wrong. Doesn't make it right. We shouldn't be we shouldn't be calling we're having a term for players of color when they don't perform. We don't have terms for a white player when they don't perform. So I don't think it's fair to have a player for players of color when they don't perform. So we should scrap that word completely. I don't like that word at all. I've kind of banned it on the channel, and I haven't really had it at all. I'm so happy the haters are quiet, says DT. But yeah, racism is unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable, and I promise you, he faces it on a daily. You must see the stuff that is written on Twitter and on Facebook about BAVUMA from a racism perspective. But not only that, people's unconscious bias and, in fact, racial mentality makes them criticize TEMBA even more. They might not say it, but they go after him for those unconscious bias reasons. Not you guys. I mean, you guys on this channel in the live chat have been extremely respectful. So I thank you guys for being so supportive and being critical when it is due, and being critical in a nice way, not in a terrible way. Klassen for me should bat number 7 for us in Test cricket, even in the pressure. Even the presser before the series, Coach Shukri said the perfect situation would be when Klassen bats at 7. It's a good shout over there. But he needs to score some runs now, of course. But we can't be. My problem is he goes out in a similar fashions, always giving his wicket away. Hardly ever is it a good delivery. Khalid, how will the track play tomorrow? It hasn't spun at all. So I do think that the pitch will deteriorate further. But I think, according to Bavuma in the press conference, he said that he's going to try and get that double ton. He's going to try and bat as long as possible. So the aim of that is obviously to make sure that the pitch deteriorates further, and to a point where where it's not playable on it, basically. So when Temba starts struggling and the other batters start struggling on the wicket, I think that's the perfect scenario for the bowlers to come in with a new ball and really try to wrap up with the West Indies early. Um, I can see this test going to day 5, maybe not to the full day 5, but I can see it going to day 5, especially Bavuma's going to push for that double ton, which I think he's going to do. Any idea who might play in December in tests? Yes, India is going to play, coming to South Africa. We have a Boxing Day test, I think, at Boxing Day test in Durban, and then I think a US test in Cape Town, and I think the last one might be at the Wanderers. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that, or Centurion. I have to check that out. Khalid, why no test match for South Africa till December? It's the FTP. The ICC FTP has been putrid. It's They should be giving us our nations a little bit more. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are suffering because of it. I mean, only the big 3 get a lot of test matches. I mean, even when we play a series, we only get a 2 test match series or a 3 test match series. We don't even get 4 and 5, which really sucks. And I think we deserve it. Bavuma showed teammates how to go big in good conditions. Rickerton threw the way Klassen shot was horrible. Let's play Zimbabwe before December in test. That's a good idea. Excellent idea. Zimbabwe, Ireland, perhaps maybe even Bangladesh we can throw in there. We played in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka a couple of times, and too many times actually. But I mean, at least Zimbabwe maybe, and perhaps maybe even Ireland you could throw in there maybe as an option. If we can, we should get Netherlands, Oman, those types of nations that can keep our guys fresh. And that's the most important thing. Not only keep our batters fresh, but it also gives them an opportunity to work more with Shukri and learn his ideas and what he thinks going with regards to this test, regards to test cricket. Next time press conference with Enoch, you can ask about more practice matches, if not series. We did ask him. He said he's trying hard to try and make it happen, but it's not as easy as we all expected. It's not about just picking up a phone and asking. There's a lot more planning involved with that. TEMBA and T20 criticizing is acceptable based on his performance and strike rate. 100%. In test, seeing him always value his wicket, no doubt on his selection in test. 100% BG3. Sun Kalp says, how's George Linder as an all-rounder for number 7? Good spin option. Allows for us to play 4 proper paces. Aggressive batsman as well. Might solve all our all-rounder problems. He could possibly. And he was selected in test cricket before and played pretty decently. And I think that is a good shout. But if Ian Mulder's can continuously play like this and maybe get a couple of half centuries under his belt, we've got a problem on our hands, I would say. A good one at least. How much will score looking at the pitch how much will score looking at the pitch? at India game? I don't understand that question, bro. Will crowd come tomorrow? Cross fingers they will. It's a Saturday, and I think it will be quite full. I'm hoping that it will be. We'll be giving tickets away, guys. So please DM me if you're interested in getting some tickets for the game. Just DM us on Instagram, um, and I'll contact you guys. First come, first serve with regards to the giveaway, guys. First come, first serve. Should players of color be branded when they get the milestone? Let me explain. When Tony was in his 80s, I thought to myself, I really hope one. I hope the comms won't say. I really hope the comms won't say second Black African to score 100. I don't think they should be branded either when they perform well. Um, I don't think any player should be branded because of the color of their skin. But in South Africa, it is significant the fact that they are Black African cricketers doing what they are doing. So, because of the struggle and because of what they faced. So, it is a tricky one, but an interesting talking point. Uneven bounce is already there, but should pass 380 plus. We should play against a team like Sri Lanka bang more often, if not big teams. Um, and yeah, just wait. Someone's trying to call. Just have to. Um, what is the best West Indies best chance to stand chance in the game? Sure. West Indies have to score some big runs up front. Big runs up front. They top order need to. I mean, I want to see Chanderpaul score some runs. Okay, no the double century here from Chanderpaul, but I want to see him score some runs. I think he's pretty talented batter. How do we make our domestic four-day game tougher? Maybe our franchises and TV coverage of the four-day game. 100% we need to do that. But what I think will make it tougher is if we introduce our younger players, under 19s, etc., to red ball cricket a lot earlier. I think that's where the issue is lying. They're not playing red ball cricket from a young age. And that, by that means they are learning on the job in four-day cricket. So that's why we see that inconsistency. If they've been playing since 18, 17, 18, they'll be a lot better at the format and learn it a lot faster, not been learning it at the age of 19, 20, 21. And then trying to improve. And then they only get their consistency and they only get their levels when they reach that mark, when they reach that high mark of, when they reach the age of like 25, 26, then they start peaking, or 23, some of them peak early. Let's play against let's play against Pakistan. They are a quality side. Pakistan is also another quality side that we can play against. It's another good option. I'm just going to get a couple of last few ones over here. Is KG fit? Commentators mentioned back stiffness. I did ask the media manager today about him. Let me just go to the message quickly. It's taking a while to load, guys. There was a mild discomfort he experienced yesterday, has settled this morning following physio management. So he will be fine for the game. Wouldn't making Shukri the assistant limited overs coach make more sense since we're not playing lots of test cricket? Well, he is a sounding board for Rob, as Rob said. So and also Shukri actually acknowledged that too. So it kind of is, in a way, you could say, because he still has an involvement with regards to that. But I think Shukri in the off season or in the winter is going to be focused on SA tours and emerging tours to try and find more people, trying to find more younger talent and obviously see where the players have developed going forward. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Congratulations to TEMBA BAVUMA on an amazing performance. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, what I would like you guys to do is to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free. Straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And then also you can become a patron today and help us grow and promote South African cricket by clicking on the link in the description as well. You can also help us grow as a company by becoming a patron too. There's different tiers for you guys, so there's plenty for you to choose from low to high. Like, comment, share as well to spread our content as well, please, guys. I need your help with regards to that. So please go ahead and share our content. And then go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates, and also go see our reaction pieces, our match reports, and all of those type of things, and news updates. They're also going to be releasing the contracted players tomorrow morning, so check cricketfanaticsmag.com for that. We'll be releasing the contracted players on our website as well, to show you guys who has been contracted from a Proteas perspective. Hardly credit should go to the South African coach. He has changed the mindset and environment of the dressing room. That's what I've been saying, guys. I've been a big fan of Shukri for a while, and I was very happy when he took over the role. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another review show. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.